Alright folks, we're back with another episode of Storylysis. I am Pierre.
Oh, we're doing intros again.
I know.
I'm Chris.
Yeah, it's been a while. It was supposed to be anime, but Christian decided to let me have one day before we go back down to the anime rabbit hole that I can't seem to get out of. But it is what it is. Today we are doing a comparison of a short poem. No, actually a short story or a poem. That's a poem. Of two poems. Right. One is To an Athlete Dying Young by A.E. Housman? By Alfred Edward. I'm hoping that's how his last name is pronounced. How do you think his last name is pronounced, Christian?
I think you got it.
Okay, sure. So, To an Athlete Dying Young. Yes. And we will be comparing it to Jared Singer and AR's Potential.
This is a comic book guy, isn't it?
Yes. But the boy with the comic book armor. Yes, Potential. When we get to the suicide portion of the poems, he has a poem about suicide that's so sick, but from the survivor, the friend left behind. A Letter to Sarah, I think it's called. Jared Singer. Beautiful, potent. But yes, so these two poems do something that Pierre, I love very much, which is when things are contradicting, things are perpendicular, but both things have, like, substantiating, not evidence, but, like, ammo to back them up. Like, I'm this because of that. Oh, no, I'm this because of that. I like this because of this, because of that. So, they do that pretty well. Not the best way to explain it, but we will get into it and you'll see what I mean. Christian, what do you want to say for yourself before we start this?
I do see the strong contrast here. Was there, because of all the many poems we could have done, you chose these two. Was there any particular reason? Was this, did these stand out to you more than the rest, or like what was the thought process in choosing this? Because then, it's been a while. I assume this one was like meant a lot to you, but was there any particular reason? These two poems.
Yeah, it's just for basically what I just mentioned, how it's two different beliefs, but the way these beliefs are sold to you are equally favorable. Like if AP English, senior year of college, 2014, our midterm was on To an Athlete Dying Young, and I didn't understand it at the time. And I read it back, like, years later, and I'm like, oh, I was so off. And like this is a midterm for AP English, high school. So yeah, it's so like that's so sick. I get it now. Like right, going out on top, like you're glorifying a young death. Anyway, I'll get into it when we get into it. And then I heard Potential. Like I heard Potential at my probably freshman year of college, which Potential made it on my freaking playlist of my workout playlist, because it's just so, the adrenaline of Potential is insane to me. Like I work out to poetry a lot. Like Adrenaline Rush is another one I work out to. That's Black centric. Yeah, I love poems a lot. So yeah, and hearing Potential, like go all the way till you can't. I'm like, oh shit, To an Athlete Dying Young saying, nah bro, go out when you're at the acme, when you're just PR, when you're at your best years. So I was like, ooh, these two poems are contradicting.
Let's let it play out.
Right. Fucking getting into it. Okay. All right. So first we're doing To an Athlete Dying Young by, A.E. Housman. This is, Christian, which one are we doing? Are we doing the one read by Tom? All right.
Yeah.
It's being played. To an Athlete Dying Young. This is on YouTube. Read by Tom O. Bedlam. All right.
Yep.
Go.
To an Athlete Dying Young by A.E. Housman. The time you won your town the race, we cheered you through the marketplace. Man and boy stood cheering by, and home we brought you shoulder high. Today the road all runners come, shoulder high we bring you home, and set you at your threshold down, townsman of a stiller town. Smart lad, to slip betimes away, from fields where glory does not stay, and early though the laurel grows, it withers quicker than the rose. Eyes the shady night has shut, cannot see the record cut, and silence sounds no worse than cheers after earth has stopped the ears. Now you will not swell the rout of lads who wore their honours out, runners whom renown outran, and the name died before the man. So set, before its echoes fade, the fleet foot on the sill of shade, and hold to the low lintel up the still defended challenge cup. and round that early laurelled head we'll flock to gaze the strengthless dead, and find, unwithered on its curls, a garland briefer than a girl's.
It's quite, it goes in quite the journey. I mean, it goes all the way to death, too.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I interpret it, at least. So it starts off where, you got that moment of triumph, and then in the next stanza, I took that as like a funeral.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
The road all runners come.
Mm-hmm. He's dead.
Yeah. So dying at the height of your glory sort of perfects your glory.
Mm-hmm.
But it reminds me of Vinland Saga. Hold on. Spoilers. When he dies. The priest. Do you remember the priest?
Yeah.
Season 1? Yeah, he was saying that death completes a person. And the build up to the priest saying that was different than here, but I think the core idea that when you die at the top, there's no way for you to go back down, and so you're cemented as this time will forever capture you at the pinnacle.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty beautiful
perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, to have for like someone who died too early, right? But if this is for an athlete. This can be for anything, right? This could be for a doctor who's at the top of his field, a valedictorian who literally just walked, graduated in the top 1%, number one in his class. Yeah, like the thing you mentioned, it cements your position, like your legacy basically stays like untouched because no one else can beat you because they don't have an opportunity to. And the 1, 2, 3, fourth, the fourth stanza. Eyes the shady night has shut, cannot see the record cut. Just yeah, this race that I just won, right? Because apparently from this poem, this is a runner, right? Like this starts with the poet reminiscing of this runner just winning a race. The time you won your town, the race, your town. So this is an athlete who rep his town, his village. Like we put you on our shoulders, we're cheering, and then he takes you all the way to the day the road all runners come. And we set you at your threshold down, townsman of a stiller town, the funeral. So he's dead. And now you're thinking, all right, this is stanza 2.
But also that line, townsman of a stiller town.
Mm-hmm.
Like that phrasing that's something. Like
that is very beautiful.
It's like how do you even phrase what that's doing? It's doing like it's like the dead are not.
They're still a part of the conversation, or
yeah, it's like a different kind of citizenship, I guess.
Inclusion into society.
Yeah, it's like the society of like the other. It's like the town of the dead.
Uh-huh.
This is a cool way of saying that.
The wording is sick. Yeah, it's like you've been indicted into another town, a stiller town, because it doesn't move. You're just static. Because you're dead. It's it's really nice, right? And then when you're like, oh shit, this is gonna take a dark turn. No, like homeboy, the poet just flips it to make it even better, right? Like the third stanza, smart lad, to slip be times away from fields where glory does not stay. You are going to lose your status anyway. Why? Because you would have lost future races, like all athletes do. Someone else will come on top who's faster, who's stronger. Like smart lad, you went out, and early, though the laurel grows, it withers quicker than the rose. Meaning your time on top would have been ephemeral anyway, so you went out before it got expired. This is, each stanza is fucking beautiful. Like that's probably one of my biggest regrets, which is like crazy, right? You think? Like my regret is that I didn't have not even insight, because this is easy stuff, but like English is not my first language. So as a senior in high school, like I was still, I guess, learning English in a way, right? But
I mean, I wouldn't call this easy stuff.
Right. Yeah. This was not right. This is AP English. There was like 12 kids that was in that class.
I mean,
and you
AP English.
And you had to get recommended. Yeah, you couldn't just get in.
But even like outside of the collegiate world, like there's a lot going on here that it's not like you have to take time to sit and digest it and really like consider the choice of wording.
That's true.
The arc that is happening.
Yes.
At each stanza.
Yeah, and it bothers me sometimes. Like now rereading this now, I'm like, damn, come on, younger Pierre from fucking 10 years ago couldn't crack this. That's stupid. But it's such a beautiful poem. It's what a way to capture something that's so. Like, not a lot of people would think this. It's a tragedy to die young. We're about to get the potential, right? Because you have potential. There's so much more you could have done. So many other records you could have broken. But this author, this poet, is telling you, nah, you're good. You actually beat time. because time would have obsoleted you. And time would have expired you, retired you, but you went out on top. Just, nah. That's this. Like eyes the shady night has shut cannot see the record cut. Oof, what a perspective! What a perspective! Eyes that the shady night, meaning like souls that death has taken, like lights that death has, what happened, extinguished. Just cannot see the record cut, bro. Nah, bro. What the fuck? Nah, bro. Like what?
Silence sounds no worse than cheers.
Ooh.
That's
After Earth has stopped the ears, bro. This man's equating silence to people rejoicing, clapping for you, because it is kind of similar, right? If my ears can't hear shit, silence might have just beat cheers. Just, man, nah. This poem is borderline delusional, but it's just so beautiful, and they're not really delusional because it is true. Dying on top does leave you a dead legend. No one has beaten you. Like silence sounds no worse than cheers after Earth has stopped the ears. It's really true. If you're dead, silence, cheers, none of it doesn't matter, right? Now you will not swell the rout of lads that wore their honors out, which we're going to talk about in potential. Michael Jordan played until he couldn't. Like now you will not swell the rout.
I love how now he shifts the perspective to the living here.
Yeah,
it's
I know, right? These has-beens, these folks who you watch decay. Like no, you will not be remembered like that because you went out at the top. Nah, runners whom renown outran, and the name died before the man, bro. Jesus, because you got to think, Christian, that must be such an ego hit to know you used to be something, like and now a younger kid can beat you at it. It can be humbling if you're someone that is like humble, but to know, like imagine you had it all. You were this braggadocious, I'm him, and then now you're old age, and your kids are telling you, oh, you're just a has-been. Well, you're not there no more, bro. So sit the fuck down. This is not like like these are the kind of old men that are at the club sagging, just trying to relive these days when they're on top, and they're like, nah, bro, you're not there. That's how I interpret that line. Like, and the name died before the man.
Yeah, I mean, because there's a chess player, not a chess player, the best chess player in the world, Magnus Carlsen. I think that's his name. No, that is his name. So Carlsen or Carlsen. But I was listening to, because he went on a podcast with Joe Rogan, and he was just talking about how because right now he's maybe in his 30s, like 33, maybe 35, and he said he was at his peak when he was like 20, 21. But he said now that there's like these 3-year-olds that are like they're taking the chess world by storm. A 3-year-old like that is contesting with very skilled players, apparently, based on what he said. So, but he's so, in this interview in particular, he's very humble about it all. Like he doesn't seem vengeful. He doesn't seem not vengeful, but he doesn't seem like
bitter
ego
about it.
Is bruised. Yeah, it's like he understands that it's a different era now that people have access to way more information than he did when he was 21. The ability to learn the game and follow in his footsteps is a lot easier because that's how it happens a lot too. Like the older generation, they pave the way for the newer generation. I remember I either read or heard something about how there was this record that could not be beat when it came to runners, and for years and years and years that record remained untouched. But then suddenly one person broke that record, and then all of a sudden everybody else started to break it. So it's like just seeing that somebody else could do it emboldened all the runners who followed to also break the record. So sometimes these trailblazers, without them, the records can remain unbroken. In many competitive fields like chess, I'm sure if you search hard enough, you could find a similar story. Running or any kind of athletic sport, that idea still holds true. So there's definitely a beauty in being at the pinnacle and what it does for those who come in your wake. And I guess that is also probably more relevant to the next poem.
Yeah.
Because those guys, they basically, I feel it sounds like they treat the idea of reaching the pinnacle as almost like a disrespect to the idea of glory. Like
yes.
But no, being at the pinnacle, there's a lot of profound implications from just the idea of that, and then the way he's taking this poetic spin on it. It is a very beautiful.
Okay, I understand. Yeah, That's nice actually for a chess player. That's so fuck. What's an adjective for? Makes sense. Go together. Like okay, I don't know what I'm trying to say. As in, like, I'm not shocked that a chess player can have this point of view on seeing kids. Yeah, because playing chess, that alone, like the level of patience, the level of like this mental maturity, the remaining aplomb, watching your opponent make his next move. Like I can see someone digest that, break it down, and say, okay, that's cool. That's a new era. I respect that. I can see a chess player thinking like that.
Yeah, I had the same impression when I was listening to the podcast. I was like, wow, this guy. It makes sense that he is the number one chess player. Just the way he's speaking, he's intelligent in like a very true sense. Like he doesn't, like, how I love when people convey ideas in as few words as possible and not using too much like verbosity or too much extravagant words. And he does that. Like he speaks very simply, but he captures a lot of detail in his simple words. And the way he carries himself, his tone, he sounds like a very patient person. So, but yeah, no, I got that same impression. It makes sense. It checks out.
Rich Gang. No, this was sick. Now for its foil. Now for its antonym. Its opposite. The yin to its yang. I can't think of other stuff to say. What to the what, Christian? What do people say? He's the cold to the hot. The cold to the hot. Yes, the dark. They're like, yes. We're about to flip this shit upside down. Equally potent. That's why I fucking love these two poems. I've never agreed so much with two things that are so different. And I can't really even choose one, honestly. I actually understand going out while I'm on top. I understand going out when I can't anymore because I've done everything I could. Like I've lit it all on the floor. I don't know, some crazy shit. But yeah, let's do this. This is Jared Zinger, AR. Potential.
I grew up watching Michael Jordan.
It was easy loving the best player in the history of the game.
All the kids did.
From his seemingly impossible hang time
to his perfect situational awareness.
There was something for everyone to envy.
But me, I loved his baseball swing. How bad it was. I loved watching a man that graceful be awful at something.
I loved his last year on the Wizards.
When his whole play style changed from sports god to wounded giraffe.
Every time he ran down the court,
tilting like he might fall and never get back up. Thank you for not quitting when you were the best, for knowing that some things are always worth fighting for. Too many fools think that success is the reason to reach.
It is easy to walk away with the crown.
It is easy to Larry Bird, to Johnny Cash. True courage is knowing that the reason to reach is to reach. I was born with a brain disorder.
I had open heart surgery at 10 months old.
Doctors said I'd never hold a pencil.
Doctors said I wouldn't live past the age of 5.
I was homeless at 17.
I had my first child at 18.
I was homeless at 19.
But I made it. I now work 3 jobs and attend college.
I made it! I graduated with 4 degrees and own my own business. I made it, but I hate that people look at me like that is enough. Like success is the reason I crawled out of the gutter.
This was never about being one of the haves.
It was about knowing that I could. Success is a hollow thing.
Merely an end result. Never a purpose.
Like having a silver medal when you know you could have gold.
Like having 1 championship
when you know you could have 6. Like settling for any number of championships when you know you could reinvent the game. I curse the name of all legends who quit on top.
We don't need examples of greatness.
We are human. We know there is potential for greatness in all of us. What we need is to reach
and fulfill that potential.
They say Icarus was a fool for flying too close to the sun.
I say it is only because of him we know how close we can get.
I love the fall.
Love those brave enough
to fail for the right reasons. Fuck the easy glory of mere excellence. The only legacy I will accept
is to know that however far that I got,
it was as far as I was capable of going. I want to drown in my own sweat, knowing there was nothing left.
Wow, this takes me back. Fuck. Nothing left. Ah! Oh shit! Woo! Fucking pump. Yeah, Christian, you wouldn't understand. You're an anime guy, but this, Christian, you wouldn't understand the amount of track races that this poem fueled me.
Oh, you're speaking of. You would listen to this before a track race?
Yeah. What?
Interesting.
There's this like when you hit a wall. Have you run track before?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
the 800.
Oh no wonder you're a fucking monster. That's the worst. That's the fucking worst event. They tell you, oh, it's not a sprint, but it's a fucking sprint, and everyone else is sprinting. It's just,
sprint.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, it's between the what is it? What's 8 plus 8 16? Yeah, it's between the 1600, the mile, or the 1 lap. It's okay, pace yourself. Yeah, I ran the 8 one time. I was like, fuck that.
It's extremely difficult.
It's literally a sprint. It's not a pace yourself.
No.
If you're by yourself, pace yourself. Yeah, but anyway, when I hurdle. So when I do the 400-meter hurdles with I think 10 hurdles on the track, I don't remember. Oh, when you hit that wall, this potential would kick. Potential would be like go up here. Just nah.
Nah. I what stood out to me, because they spoke with such passion, and at times like aggression towards not like the idea of just settling for the pinnacle, the peak. But then when they described how they deemed success in their life, it's like one guy said he has 3 jobs and he's in college, and the other guy said that he has 4 degrees in 1 business.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I understand that, like, how, like, the definition of success varies from individual to individual, but the levels of passion they're talking about, like, it just, I was a little bit surprised that is what they're seemingly comparing as like the pinnacle for them. Is like those, because those are impressive. Like those are certainly, to go from being homeless to then picking yourself back up in life, that's definitely impressive, but I wouldn't call that like the pinnacle of success.
That's not what I said.
No, but I'm saying like the vibe that they're giving off is like they're addressing like when you're at the pinnacle, don't settle. Just keep reaching for your potential.
Yeah.
But and that level of it's just it feels like they're talking about that, like such high heights. But I'm not trying to downplay their success in life. I'm just saying that I thought their idea of success would have been a bit different than what they said it was.
That's not even their idea of success. These things that they mentioned, they did these things despite obstacles. They didn't do these things like, I have 4 degrees on my own business. No, I was born with a brain disorder. I had open heart surgery as a child. I was homeless, yet I've done these things. And they're not glorifying it. People say, oh, you're good, you've made it. And they're like, what? Like, success is the reason I crawled out? No. Like, not being one of the have-nots was not the reason I did that. It's because I knew I could. They're not even glorifying theirs. They're saying their surrounding. People around them are saying, dude, you weren't even supposed to graduate college because you had open heart surgery. You graduate college for 4 businesses? Bro, you've done it, man. You can sit down. You're good now. And they're like, no. Like, that's what they're trying to say in this poem. They're not glorifying their position at all. They're actually saying it's shocking that people think they should settle now because they've made it despite the obstacles in their way, despite their medical blockers, and despite their financial blockers. Like, I was homeless. I had a kid. They mentioned it right away. Right after he said that, there's like, yeah, like, if people look at us like we should settle with success. He's like, that's not success. Yeah, that was not what they were saying.
Yeah, I guess it's just because I was more hung up on the Michael Jordan start, but it does make sense that Michael Jordan was there to, like, that example was just to illustrate the how someone could have reached success and still kept going after, and then they kind of switched it where now it's no longer just like the competitive, like, athletic scene, because that was in my head throughout the entire poem, even though I was able to recognize that they were transitioning a little. But yeah, that makes sense that it's a different kind of success. I do think, like, the obstacles of life and the obstacles of, like, competitive sports, while there are comparisons for sure, it's definitely different kinds of struggles. So I guess, I should have distinguished.
No, it's all good, because what is potential saying? Potential is literally going against the whole to an athlete dying young. More specifically, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth stanza. Now you will not swell the rout of lads that wore their honors out. Runners whom renown outran, and the name died before the man. Right? Like that's what the to an athlete dying young is saying about this athlete. You won't be one of these guys who we watch turn into a washed version of themselves. And they're glorifying MJ, Michael Jordan, for that. Like this man went from a sports god to looking like a wounded giraffe. He couldn't go no more. Like, and that's an actual thing, because my uncles would tell me, like, they watch MJ transition to baseball and go back to basketball and be a shell of himself. Just because you're old, like you're worn out, yet you keep going. Which people criticize him for that. It's like, dude, you're taking up space on a field, on a court where someone younger could have been there. But because of your household name, because of your status, you have to be the fifth player on the court. Jordan
Wasn't baseball like his true passion?
I think so. I think I've heard that somewhere.
That's crazy.
I know, right? You know how insane that is. you end up glorified, like fucking your status is cemented, bro. There's sneakers after you because of how good you were at a sport that was not your first. And I think he was cut. I think Michael Jordan was cut from his first basketball tryout in high school or something. Like, I think so. He didn't make the team or something like that. But yeah, like this whole poem, right? They like hearken deeply on Michael Jordan, right? True courage is knowing that the reason to reach is to reach. And thank you for not quitting when you were the best, which is exactly what doing athlete dying young. Like that's what he did. And like we just touched up on throwing obstacles, right? Like we overcome our shit, and people are like, you're good. They're like, no. Like people are talking like success is the reason I crawled out of the gutter. I didn't do it so I can prove I'm not one of the haves. So I didn't do it so I can become one of the haves. I did it showing that I could. Oof. And then the continuous quotes in the last minute and a half of this poem, like success is a hollow thing, nearly an end result, never a purpose. Bro, like hollow, there's nothing in there. So it needs to be continuous because it's not really filled, it's not full. So for people to get big-headed when they made it somewhere and say, great, I made it now, like no, like you have potential in you to go further. And they literally took a stab at our poem that we just did. Like I cursed the name of our legend who quit on top.
Yeah, that was a very, I don't know if you gotta curse them, like bro.
No, there's a lot of exaggeration. No, not really. No, these guys are just passionate about their it's not literal, right? They're not out here saying, fuck you to an athlete dying young. They might.
No, not to that dark one.
Yeah, like I can't. No, I didn't get cursed.
They said.
Oh yeah. That's the end of the yeah. Fuck all the whatever people say. Well, yeah, and all that. The only acceptable legacy is however far I've gotten was as far as I was capable of going.
Yeah.
Bro, nah. This language aside, because if this was like done, I guess more politely, it probably would have. But this like fuels me every time I hear it because it reminds me that like I can do more. I'm actually capable of more. Right? Because we tend to, and not even, some of us are just straight up lazy. Some folks on this planet are fucking just, like, bro, you're a waste of a life. Like some folks. Actually, that's extremely messed up. Christian, please cut that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, damn.
That is vile. Actually, no, you don't need to cut that. I'll apologize right now. I don't normally speak like this. But, yeah, some folks are just complacent. Some folks are okay with not having any goals or dreams, which is nothing to knock at you at. It's when you start blaming others for you not going somewhere. That's what I have a problem with, because it is what it is. But realizing like what you can do, like listening to success stories of what people have done with little to like nothing, like listening to like how determination can take someone from I don't know if these guys stole like the success stories we have to like mainly like white, like if you think like Bezos, from his garage to like Amazon, which they get what they get, but regardless, you can't not knock the man. You can't knock the man for more work. Or even Elon, right? I heard like Tesla it was a project that failed over and over and over, and he persisted. But my point is potential, right? That this going up while you're on top, it makes you short-sighted because you're not seeing that you're capable of more. And even this, right, how I said to an athlete dying young is borderline delusional, right? This too, like them taking the example of Icarus. Like people say Icarus was a fool. Like no, bro. It's because of him. Like we know how close we can get to the sun. Like those mindsets can be so dangerous, yet because they're potent. Imagine someone's using this for bad. If someone who want to take over the world, who'll take over one country, and they're listening to potential. They're like, I can take over 2 countries. I can take over 3 countries. just bro, I can keep going. Yeah, Like, this can be so dangerous, but it's so beautiful. Nah, if you need motivation, if you need to understand that you are A, enough and B, capable of so much more, I want to drown in my sweat knowing there was nothing left. Bro, dude, as a former track runner, after that 400, bro, when you're crawling, Christian.
There's a line in Rudyard Kipling, if I don't remember it verbatim, but it was like, when you lose, pick up the worn out tools and keep building, or it was something to that effect. But that idea I do love, like when you have nothing but your will left and you still keep at it until you die. Oh, there's the guys I've been showing you, the workout guys.
ID. What's his name? Is it ID? Audi?
Oh,
what's his name? Shouty? Heidi. Yeah.
Damn it, I don't like that I can't remember this name. But they have a clothing brand. It's called Till the Death Athletics.
As well. Yeah. Interesting.
And it's like their whole thing is they surpass their potential every single workout session. That's why I was so addicted to their videos, because it's very close. It's just this idea like that the poem Potential is talking about. It's like they are constantly just breaking their limits. You see it on their faces. These are guys that they would rather pass out. They have passed out. And there's one guy who I showed you the video. He's working out, and he drops he drops like a wildly heavy bar, like 700, 800 pounds, something crazy like that. Falls on his toe, breaks it, and then the guy who's his name's Unk. He's like, I don't give a fuck about your toe. Do your set. And then he looks over at him, he pushes him, he's like, or he says like, he's like, how many? And then he does his set. And it's so impressive. I love those guys so much. I really do. But
I'm actually glad that you like those guys. That is cool, actually.
Yeah. Now that is my, that's my workout, is listening to those guys right there. That's my, that'll get me hype during a session.
No, that is sick. That Hey, what, Christian?
Their lives are poetry. Their actions are poetry.
Their actions are poetry. No, that's sick. It's the few videos I saw, I liked too. I was like, damn, that's pretty sick. It is pretty cool. It's to wrap this up, right? So I was trying to find words in the beginning, but yeah, I love these two poems because they're two different things, right? They're glorifying two things that are so different. Someone going out on top, still young. Another thing too, young with a lot of years ahead that he will never get to see, that athlete, because he's dead. But they paint that in such a beautiful light, as in you will die the undefeated champion, because no one will break the record that you broke and set that time when you represented our town. And then for this, they're glorifying Michael Jordan. Like, hey, although you kept playing and kept playing and kept playing until you couldn't even play anymore, you weren't even supposed to be playing anymore, looking like a wounded giraffe, we admire your determination. We love the fact that you kept going. That's what we liked, because that was an example. That was the standard for us that you've set for our lives, right? Obviously, it looks like they idolize MJ, because they even said, they take examples of himself. They're telling you people think we should stop, although we've overcame crazy obstacles. Like, no, we're not stopping anytime soon. We're going to keep going. So I love these two poems, and I would recommend them to anyone who want to hear very different perspectives on something, but like beautifully written out, with strong points for each. And yeah, that's all I'd say. What will you say, Christian?
Yeah. I especially, if Rudyard Kipling is my favorite poem, so the first one resonated with me.
Yeah, that was right. If like.
Yeah, it did. I did get that same impression.
Oh yeah. Wait. With the poem itself or the new guy?
The poem itself.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and Potential was it was nice too. It was definitely very passionate. But yeah, I see why the comparison between these two stuck out to you and why you want to talk about it.
Rich gang. Alright, folks. It's been real. I'm gonna go to bed and actually not have to go eat. I'm not eating yet. But yeah, it's been real. Alright, Christian, we're gonna go. Alright, bye.